Welcome back, Croeso all, to another episode of Fearless in Devotion, sponsored by the Fat Boar. And it's a very, very happy Fearless in Devotion today, isn't it, Andy? Why are we so happy?
Is it because I've just had a really good roast at the pub down the road?
No, I had a really good roast with my parents. We've all had good roasts, but Wrexham won
For,
a massive 6 pointer
Oh yeah,
against
shit, yes.
Wycombe.
What about that? Yes.
for the American fan base, that doesn't involve Andy sitting in front of an audience and getting slagged off by 40 people. It's in reference to a traditional food.
And for the British audience, that doesn't refer to Andy. No, I won't go there.
Andy gets a roast down the pub. Andy gets a roast every time he goes to the pub anyway, so for chatting so much crap. Anyway, we're very happy because Wrexham won 1-0. Tim, bet that was a good weekend.
It was very good. Obviously, we'll come to the more pertinent aspect of that game shortly, with what happened and so on. But yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Really solid win. Wasn't pretty, but nothing changes at the moment with regards to that. You just kind of got to grit it out, stay in it, and hope we get something, which proved to be the case. Yeah, it was amazing. It was proper good away end. Similar, I think a lot of the best away ends have been down south. Like Charlton was a banger.
Yeah,
and this one
was great.
Yeah, I think it wasn't lost on everybody in attendance how big of a game this was, for both sides and what it meant. And you look at the table now; it's just nice to be sat there. How long it lasts for, by the time it gets to Tuesday, they might swap places again, but we don't know. But it was amazing. The noise levels were crazy. It was just a lovely day as well. The weather was nice. Andy and I and a few others stopped down there. Can't ask for any more. Great goal, great finish. Arthur's back in peak form. Well, yeah, I guess you can ask for more because people will, and that would ideally involve putting teams to the sword a bit easier than what we are. But they are where they are for a reason.
It didn't feel as stressful yesterday, Tim. It really didn't.
No. I think you're right. I think in a weird way, I think Wycombe were a very, 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 very physical team, but I think the nerves maybe got to them slightly in certain aspects of that game. I don't know. I just think we held our nerve really, really well, and eventually a moment of class kind of paid off, and that's why we paid the money we did for him to make those crucial moments count.
Yeah. Before we pick the bones out of what happened on Saturday afternoon, there's some bonus content that Andy's going to tell us about.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Can you see this? Because I'm not on my normal computer, so
I can see an octopi.
Oh, a cat. So if you can scan that,
that your cat?
Yeah. Oh, he's dead now. So
you're not scanning the cat, by the way, for any audio listeners.
You scan a cat, you get to see his corpse.
Jesus Christ.
But if you scan that, you will get to Wrexham as a Game, which is a great newsletter. And what we're doing this week is the Brian Flynn interview, which we did in the Fierce in Devotion Live night. That's an exclusive for Wrexham as the Game subscribers. It's a really, really good chat. It got a bit risque in parts, I'm not going to lie, but that's something that you guys will get if you subscribe. So please subscribe. We've got quite a few members at the moment. I think it's quite a good little product, but obviously we'd like to sort of reward the people who do subscribe. So Tim, maybe if you could put the link in the comments on YouTube, and I don't even know if that will work. That little.
It will. So to anybody who's not subscribed yet, imagine just paying 15 quid for an entire year, and part of that immediate content of seeing one of Wrexham's greatest ever managers be absolutely shit-faced. And obviously with drunken Brian Flynn comes loose lips, and he tells about all sorts of stuff, so it's great. So yeah, enjoy it.
Great stories in there, absolutely brilliant stories. So do I sound a bit better now? I've just turned my mic on.
You sound extremely loud now.
Distinctly worse.
Sorry?
So you sound much worse. So whatever you've just done, reverse it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sounded fine. You were just a bit quiet, and I regret mentioning it.
How about now?
That's great. Just shout at us.
Okay.
However, isn't it great though that Fearless in Devotion is redefining how we consume content?
Yeah. Before we get anywhere else, can I just give our
our sort of hopes to the fellow who fell ill yesterday in the game, and just our best wishes to that guy. Apparently, he's stable in hospital, which is great. And yeah, I mean, it does put football pales into insignificance when it comes to something like that. So I'm glad that he's recovering.
It was so weird. I mean, I'll come to you guys in a minute how you saw it on the telly, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's probably two occasions I welled up because it's not like we're like a Newcastle or Carabao Cup Kings Newcastle where it's a massive place. Your Wrexham fan bases, they tend to know one another for the most part.
You'll know people by sight.
Yeah,
like,
somebody will know
I knew,
somebody.
yeah.
So naturally, when it happened, you're thinking, am I going to know this person? And the knock-on effects to that, and obviously when the sort of the shields and the sheets were held up, you're fearing the worst. And but yeah, first of all, hats off to the medical team, the Wycombe fans who kind of made the referee and everybody aware of what was going on in that corner of the ground. The entire club have conducted themselves exemplary in the way they've dealt with it. Very classy. I think that's been reciprocated from messages from Rob and Ryan and the club, and just how they dealt with it. Regular updates, no keeping anybody in the dark. People weren't sure if the game was going to continue, and nobody would have had any complaints if it hadn't. To be perfectly honest, as you just said, it's a game. At the end of the day, this is somebody's life that we're talking about, and somebody's father, son, friend, etc. So yeah, it was very, very strange, very somber, which is quite paradoxical in a game of that magnitude. It's very, very strange to go from this elation to deflation and then elation again. And as Parky said, that win was dedicated for him, and rightly so. So our thoughts are with him and his family and friends at this time.
We came back on and we were so much more in it. We were so much more at it, and I wonder if that galvanized us a little bit. But
I noticed a lot of Wycombe fans were commenting on the fact that we actually seemed better prepared as well. When we did come out onto the pitch, the players were doing drills with the coaches and stuff like that. And they said, by contrast, Wycombe didn't seem to be stood in a huddle a lot more talking. So I think it's also a credit to the way that they got the play, because it's going to shake everyone from the fans right to the players. So the way the staff dealt with it and got the players ready to come back out, and I think fair play to them for waiting to hear how the fan was as well. And I understand, didn't Wycombe's players come over to you guys and applaud as well when they came back out?
And also Sam Smith's celebration, where we went right over to that end and did the heart symbol. Good on him. Fair play.
Yeah. I kind of want Wycombe to go up with us. I'll be honest. From that, just because of the way they reacted, because we see it time and again, day in, day out, how fan bases, especially on social media, can be pretty horrible places at times. But yeah, yesterday, kind of everybody really rallied round, and
they seem a classy outfit. They really do.
But
and the thing is, there was some contentious decisions in that game, but I don't think any sort of mass wave of Wycombe fans have been really salty about stuff.
Well, he was crap for everyone. Let's be honest. That referee was.
Yeah, I mean that Lewis Brunt thing. I mean, they put some pictures up saying, like with the eye emoji. I can't see him touch that ball once. But one thing that does worry me, Lewis does that quite a few times. Like he did it against Peterborough as well as he does lead with his arm when he's jumping. I think that's maybe something that you might need to look at.
It evens itself out though, because that push on Smith was with a definite penalty. Anywhere else on the pitch, it's a free kick. So why isn't it a penalty?
I've no idea. At all. Smith was great yesterday. He was bustling. He was busy. I think that's probably one of his best games for us.
We've drawn first blood. It's massive, and Wycombe got a good rhythm on Tuesday, and anything but a win. We're still ahead. We've got noses in front, and obviously with a big game coming up, which we'll be discussing later on in this pod.
Well, obviously, we spoke midweek in the podcast, about how if we went and won that 6-pointer, everyone would forget about Reading very quickly. Very similar to Halifax, obviously, and before the big games we had against Notts 2 seasons ago now in the National League. Does it just show, Andy, that Parky is a manager who knows how to win in the big games in the sort of last third of a season, basically.
I mean, the guy is an extremely experienced football manager, and he was fuming on Tuesday night after Reading, but probably knew that it is just part of a process. And I said this on the last pod, right? The way we play, we're going to lose games every now and again. But what we will do is eke out a lot of results that we shouldn't. And there's the swings and there's the roundabouts. So I think, yeah, against Reading, we missed a lot of chances. But, let's be honest, we didn't deserve to win that game at all. I think we did deserve to win at Wycombe. And we said last week that I'd love 2 draws, right? We've actually ended up a point better off, and we won the best game that we could have. So it doesn't matter about Reading. If they sneak into the playoffs, absolutely fucking great for them. But Wycombe are our rivals at the moment, and we've dealt them a huge blow. I would say that I didn't rate Wycombe that much. I thought they were a little bit toothless. And I think
Kone, big blow that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's their top striker. He's their star man. I'd also say that they've got such a bad run in. They don't appear to be in the best of form at the moment. I'm actually starting to look over my shoulder a little bit at Charlton, who won again. They're 5 points behind us. There's 9 games left. We've got to play them. Maybe they could be the bigger rival to us than Wycombe. Yes,
not just smug because Wycombe are finally falling away, like you said they would.
Oh, behave. I thought they would, though. I thought they would. I just looked at the squad depth and didn't think there was a huge amount there. Well, we're able to bring in, talented player after talented player. And, we're really strong when we bring on our subs. And Rodriguez had another in and out game. But Fletcher, when he came on, brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. And I reckon that that stoppage helped Fletcher again because he come on, play a few minutes, could really go for it for the last 14, 15. Thought he was fantastic.
Is he the best ever Wrexham sub? That's my question. Is he better than
he's not better than John
Super Sub?
Don't be daft.
Any
other great subs? Cheesy?
Hector Sam is actually the highest scoring Wrexham substitute, apparently. Simon Cook shared some stats with me earlier. But yeah, Glenn Little would be my argument. Yeah. Based on looks, style, full package.
Hair, socks.
Yeah. I'm sure Liam predicted both the results as well.
I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to.
Did you? Very well done.
I said that we would lose to Reading, and everyone would want Parky fired out of a cannon. I mean, I don't know if anyone went that far, but it probably wasn't far off.
It was close.
And then I said we'd have a redemption with a win over Wycombe. So if there's anything we've learned from all this, it's how wonderful I am, how wonderful Phil Parkinson is. Well done to us both, really.
Get a nice bag of mini eggs and expense it off the Fearless.
Yeah. Well done, Liam. Any Twitter spats this week?
You're better than that.
No Twitter spats. No Twitter spats. I don't really engage in those. It's me.
That's good.
Any more? Well, we've spoken about who had good games. Anyone else quickly that you were impressed by, Tim? Thought a good game.
Arthur commanding, distribution's a lot better. And did what he needed to do. Big save that. Yeah, I mean, it's good connection. The guy maybe should have put a bit more thunder on it, but such a good low hand. And he takes the sting out of it and still managed to gather it before it goes out of play. So I just thought his overall game was very, very impressive. I think he's getting a bit more vocal now from what I could see. So that is good. That tells me he's getting more and more confident with the players in front of him and coming out of his shell a little bit, which sounds ridiculous. But I think that was his 30th clean sheet. I think Wrexham fan on Twitter said it was his 30th clean sheet in 68 appearances. That's not bad at all. Puts him in the 17th in the all-time list for clean sheets.
Already?
Yeah. So that tells you his credentials and from an investment point of view for the club as well.
And also why we are where we are this season as well. We're built on being, barring a few lapses and, a poor performance midweek, a really solid team that's hard to beat. And if you're a hard team to beat, then you're going to nick wins, aren't you? But anyway, we've spoken about who was on the pitch. No Mullin and Palmer on the pitch or in the squad again. And we've had it confirmed, haven't we, that that's because of a massive falling out that he's had, Mullin, with Phil Parkinson. Apparently, there was stuff being thrown. Tim, you've had that confirmed, haven't you?
Yeah, not exactly, but yeah, yeah. I think I think I was slightly, in my infinite wisdom, few drinks in, said, oh, maybe questions need to be asked as to why he's not in it. Just asked it direct, and somebody responded. I can't remember who it was now. Said, well, have you not heard about the rumours that he's had a buster with Parky and blah blah this and blah blah that. I can't remember the nature of the tweet. I would show you, but I'm on my phone, so apologies. And then Mullin replied, one word, nonsense. So he's pretty much put those rumours to bed in one very straightforward message. My understanding is he was at the Carabao Cup game today. Why not? He's a massive Liverpool fan. He would have gone regardless today. Imagine it. Elliot Lee was no doubt there, and the Newcastle end. So yeah, there we are. It's a difficult one because we love him and we kind of want to see him. Yeah, we can understand the fume, but we tend to understand the fume when we lose. There tends to be less fume when it doesn't matter so much if we eke out a win.
Although saying that, someone had put posters up on lampposts around the racecourse today with a Paul Mullin missing picture saying, please return to Phil Parkinson. There was one, they put it up quite poorly on the bus stop on the Mould Road side. It was sort of flapping off when I went past. So, yeah.
And I mean, Andy, would you say, this is what I think, in that it's just football. And at the moment, then they're not being favoured. And Mullin in particular, one injury to Sam's. There's 10 games left. One niggle to Sam Smith means he's out for a couple of games, or to Mo, or to Fletcher. And Mullin will be back and will almost certainly play a part in the running. It's just the way the football goes sometimes. Agreed?
Yeah, we knew that we couldn't take everyone with us. Now, I don't think any of us thought that Paul Mullin would be sidelined so early. We maybe thought that it would be maybe a season in the future. But it's sad for us because we have so much love for the guy because of what he's done for us, because of his goal record, because of the way he sort of acts, not just on the pitch, but off it as well. I think we really took him as one of our own, and he's really got close to our heart. Now, Wrexham have had a lot of turnover of players, and some of them, like Luke Bolton or Will Boyle, will never be like cult heroes or anything, but Paul Mullin will, because of what he's done over a prolonged period of time. Now, he's had 2 pre-seasons disrupted. It's been hard for him to get the minutes in to really sort of come back to form. I think last season we needed him. We didn't have those strikers up front, and we were able to give him the games to play himself back into form. And how good was he when we really needed him towards the end of the season? Now, it's not worked out this season, right? Sam Smith's come in. I thought he was fantastic yesterday. It's the bustling, all-action centre forward play that maybe a Paul Mullin could have done 2 years ago. And maybe we are looking more towards Sam to take that sort of role. Look, if I'm absolutely being honest, if you can have a striker up front who doesn't score any goals, I'd rather it be Oli Palmer than Jay Rodriguez, just because I think he occupies centre halves more than Rodriguez does at the moment. Rodriguez drifts in and out of games. You're not quite sure if he's up front or in midfield. Palmer, that he is going to give people a battle for the 60 minutes he is on. So if I was going to change the front dynamic at all at the moment, I would probably put Ollie back in and maybe use Jay as an impact sub along the lines of Fletcher, because I do think the lads have got quality, and maybe on a tiring defence, you would see a lot more from him. I don't think it's working at the moment. I'm going to be honest. Absolutely honest. As good as Smith was, again, it was another game that passed Jay by. Am I being too harsh, Tim? You were there.
No, I think it's spot on. Everybody wants to give him as much time as he possibly can to embed himself into this system, this way of playing. But yeah, for long spells, I was just like, I just watched him for a bit, and the game just seemed to pass him by.
Is it a fitness thing? Is it getting to know his teammates?
No, I don't think so. Because he's got a good burst of pace. I don't think it's a fitness thing and stuff. for whatever reason, it's just not quite happened for him. And
Is it not just the way we play? I mean, you don't get much service, do you, as a in this system?
Do you think he's going looking for it and he's in a halfway house?
Perhaps because he's not playing the
Maybe.
exact same role as Ollie plays. Z slightly deeper.
He is
And
deep,
is he
yeah.
just a little bit lost in no man's land, basically?
Well, should he be
Yeah.
a bit further on the centre half then? Should he be dropping as deep as he is? And is he thinking that if he does go really up top, is he going to see enough of the ball?
It's a tough one to call, isn't it? I mean, if you compare it with Fletcher, Fletcher comes on, affects the game again massively. But if you watch Fletcher's game, he's not tearing up the pitch because he knows that's beyond him now. But he'll just occupy a certain space and be effective in that certain space.
He'll win his battle. He will win his battle within the 10 yards he's in. And it doesn't matter if it's in the air. It doesn't matter if he'll try and get in behind people. And I know you can only do it for 15 minutes, but what a 15 minutes. I thought it was excellent yesterday. Maybe Jay could do the same thing. But the thing is, he's starting games. He's not really affecting them. And we're taking him off after 60, 70 minutes. And we're looking a lot better as a team when he's not playing.
I don't think there's any room for two top knots on the bench, according to Parky. That's the issue. That's the real issue here. So there we are. But who knows? Look, he's got a full week now. Full week, no midweek game. Big week of training for a big game.
Yes, and we will come on to discuss that game shortly. First, with a special guest who will be joining us very soon. Before that, though, we've got some congratulations, haven't we? Because there was some Wrexham dignitaries, some modern Wrexham dignitaries running a marathon in New York this weekend. And so Humphrey Carr, I believe, Ben Foster and Mike Williamson, our CEO, did the New York Marathon. Congratulations to them. Lots of money being raised. And Humphrey is obviously building towards the Manchester Marathon next month. And I just had a look at how much he's raised for Wrexham Miners Project. It's now up to just under £75,000, which is huge. And, brilliant. It's a massive amount for them to receive, to do some really crucial work. So do support him and Ben. I saw that Ben had just raised £1,000 at least this weekend. So fantastic work, and running a marathon, I've heard, is difficult. So
is it a marathon or a half marathon? I thought New York was a half marathon.
New York was a half, yeah.
Yeah, and he's building up. Humphrey's building up the marathon, yeah.
You got to say hats off. Humphrey hates running, and I can identify with that. So for him to get through it is huge, and he's doing the Lord's work for the club and for the Miners Rescue. So congratulations to you and everybody else who took part.
Do you only get the money if he completes it?
This is my thing. I don't like donating until after someone's completed something, because anything can happen. If they pull a hammy, they don't deserve it.
Don't you believe in Humphrey? I think he can do it.
Anything can happen. I've got lots of faith in Humph, but it's a long way around.
It's like saying I don't believe in SFA sort of podcast awards until after we've won it. And then you come down to the events. Shocking. So I see you're applying that.
Yeah, well, if you'd told us that we'd won, we'd have all been there.
I told you we were in with a sliver of a shout. Honestly.
Okay. Anyway, before we go on to discuss the Stockport game, another fantastic win for Wrexham AFC Women, who have made the Butte Energy Welsh Cup for the second season in a row. So also a team that's getting quite used to winning the big games.
7 in a row.
Seven in a row.
Wow.
Good grief.
In all comps.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And some
so
big sort of wins in there as well against big teams.
Yeah, hitting form at the right time and beating some big teams. They'll have either Cardiff City or the New Saints in the final, which will be at Rodney Parade, unfortunately. Although good for the South Wales Reds. I know.
I think Cardiff actually won that semi.
So did they? Cardiff have won, haven't they? There we go.
They'll want revenge, won't they, for the other week? They'll want revenge, but as the tide turn now, we'll see.
Well, seems like we're the form side at the moment. So fantastic work to Steve Dale and his team. Brilliant stuff. But now we're going to move on to discuss the big game on the weekend. Phil Parkinson knows how to win these big games, and he's been rewarded with another one, Stockport at home at the racecourse. It's become a classic of a fixture, and to join us to discuss it is Russ from the Scarf Bergara Wore podcast, friend of the podcast. Russ, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you for having me. You well?
Yeah, very well, thank you. We're very happy. I'm sure you guys are very happy after a big win against Bolton, who, as of about 8 days ago, everyone was saying was obviously Bolton were going to go up automatically, and now they've lost 2 in a row. So, how was that game?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was much like the Charlton game before that. Actually, they were on form as well when we played them, and we've sort of had them at arm's length. We tend to do better against the teams that play the better football. We get dragged down into the mire when we play the Cambridge and the Northampton.
Don't worry, mate. We'll
And the
drag you into the mire.
Phil Parkinson will drag you kicking and screaming into a pile of shit, mate.
I've got a list of things I'm not allowed to say, and terrorist football and parky balls on that list, so I won't say those while we're here tonight.
Tick it off the bingo card.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is this forcing a rivalry? That's what I want to know.
Tick it.
Yes. Well, I mean, how are you feeling about Saturday? I'd imagine pretty confident now, but I mean, it should be a good game.
I'll be honest with you. I'm shitting myself because we always lose at your place, and it's horrible, and I hate it. But I still buy a ticket every time. So we're probably going to lose 1-0 or 2-1 in 97th minute. It'll be a long ball up to whoever's playing up front that day, Sam Smith probably, and you'll beat us, and that's what I'm fully expecting. But that said, pretty confident to be fair, from being truthful. Like I say, we do play better against the better teams. Yesterday, Bolton are really, really good. They had to take McAtee off in the end. He was just spent. So, and we mixed it up a bit as well, and we made 3 changes at half time because Charlie's not adverse to doing that. So, we sort of. We won it on points really. If it was a boxing match yesterday, and it was just one moment of quality from Tanto Alafi that sealed it. So yeah, really pleased with yesterday. Just one of those days where I think we're on the same boat. We came from where we came from, non-league and that, and to go away to Bolton and get a 1-0 win in front of 24,000 people is just it's just chef's kiss sort of stuff in it. So I think we can all attest to that.
Yeah, great. It's good to be back in League One, isn't it? And it's all building up to a really good end of the season now. I mean, would you say, I mean, there's a lot of new names in Stockport's team now, and it's in the same way that there'll be a lot of new names in Wrexham's side compared to perhaps what the fans would have been used to over the last couple of seasons. Who would you say to Wrexham fans to watch out for? Who are the talented players in your squad?
Definitely Tanto Alafi, but I think you know all about Tanto. I mean, he's just been a nuisance. He's sort of come into some sort of ridiculous form these last few games, which is really good for us. I think about Will Collar as well. He's always playing really well. He's sort of stepped up with us and gone through the leagues with us. So that's really nice. Ones that you've probably not seen before, Ollie Norwood. So so he was. I think was it last season he might have captained, or was certainly up there as captain as Sheffield United in the Premier League. So he's been playing in the centre of the midfield for us. He can spray it about left, right and centre. So he's pretty good and comes with a wealth of experience. But there was a bit of thing yesterday. He got subbed off. He wasn't playing that well, and then went straight down the tunnel. And then Challoner followed him. And he was out at the end with his sliders on and clapping the crowd. But I think there was a bit of a sort of choice words said there. So whether he starts or even appears on Saturday, not sure. I think it'll be okay. So he's one to look out for. Lewis Bate. You'll like Lewis Bate because he's kind of like an Andy Cannon sort of figure, sort of low centre of gravity, central midfield, holds the ball up well. And he's our captain and he's only 21. So we've definitely gone the youth sort of side in terms of what we're trying to build here. So he's one to look out for. And then we've got a lad on loan from Norwich at the back, Brad Hills, who was meant to be going on international duty, but has opted to stay to play, as has Ibitori as well for Gambia. So Brad Hills at the back, sort of right centre half. He's honestly, you look at him and you'll go, he's going to be a Premier League player in the future. He just is. He just stands out like a mile in front of everybody else. So, and I think he did quite well against Sam Smith when we beat Reading 2-0 away not long ago. So,
All right, don't rub it in.
well, no, well,
We lost 2-0 on Tuesday. Obviously, we were crap. Yeah.
yeah. No, I wasn't linking it. I'll let you do that. But yeah, so Brad Hills is another one to think to look at. Centre half, yeah, he's decent.
Go on, Tim.
Russ, how are you finding League One as a spectacle? Because I mean, from our point of view, it's obviously enjoyable to go back to some of these grounds, as you said. 24,000 there the other day for you, and considering where both clubs have come from, whether that's National League North, even considering some of the places you were playing before coming back through and rising up, almost kind of in unison, really. Both clubs have done it. How have you found it as an experience? And are you pleasantly surprised that Stockport and Wrexham are up there, or is that kind of you were fully kind of expecting that to pan out?
I was expecting that to pan out, to be honest. I mean, there's no hiding behind the sort of investment that we've both got. Probably similar, probably gone different ways in terms of strategy, I would say, but similar levels of investment. I mean, you probably spent a bit more than us, to be fair, I think, haven't you? I know Sam Smith wasn't cheap. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I've always said that in terms of overall sort of where we should be, tier 3 is kind of where Stockport County should be, really. We're getting over 10,000 regularly now. I think we're trying to get into the Championship and sit at that table and be there consistently. I think you've got probably bigger and better ideas. And I think the Championship is where we want to be. So, strategically, holistically, whatever you want to call it, I think we're sort of tier 3 flirting with the Championship. That's where I see ourselves. Our chairman, I think, has probably got slightly loftier ideas, but we'll see how that pans out. The whole experience, though, I'm loving it. It's kind of like a disappointment when you have to go to Burton, isn't it? Just places like that, because it's like, just remind you of non-league, doesn't it? Burton and Shrewsbury, shall we say? They should be in tier 4, I think. But
none of us will have to go there again next season, even if we somehow both stay in this division. So yeah, they're doomed. Unlucky.
Yeah. But no, I'm enjoying it. I mean, days like yesterday, Bolton away, it was just brilliant. Even going to Birmingham, I know they come down and they should be flirting with the Premier League, really, shouldn't they, by all accounts? And there was 25,000 there, so it was nice. It must be nice for you boys though, because wherever you go, they all come out, don't they? It's just like a full house every time you go away. It's not so much for us, but the bigger ones.
Apart from Reading couldn't be asked because it was the process with their ownership, so they were just like, nah, I'm not gonna turn up for that.
But yeah, everyone else does love to hate us. You're right.
Yeah.
Apart from Wycombe like us. So,
Russ,
yeah.
can I ask you about Charlton? Because I'm looking at that table thinking, right, if Wycombe do fall away, which I've been calling for the last 6 months, as Rhys brings up every bloody week, I do think they'll fall away. And I think, right, if it's not us, is it going to be you or is it going to be Charlton? And Charlton seem to be in the best form of anyone at the moment. What were they like at your place? Do you think they're a real threat?
What were they like at our place? They were turgid, if I'm being honest. They couldn't. I don't think they hardly mustered anything. I'm not even sure. They might have had one or two shots on target, but they just tried to bully us, and it didn't work because we can bully a team like the best of them anyway with some of the players we've got. So, and we've got plenty of experience in there. They tried to grapple and bully, and it was just horrible, really. And we had them at arm's length. The game just lacked that moment of inspiration and moment of quality from both sides, from us specifically. We had chances to win it, to be fair, but we didn't. But yeah, I was surprised at them because they came to us as the form team, and I was surprised at how shit they were, to be fair. So I think if Wycombe fall away, well, what I will say is, I'm hoping that if any of you two, Wycombe and yourselves, sort of start to mess up, then I'm hoping we'll be primed to take advantage of it. But I can't see any of like us or Wycombe or Charlton, reaching you and Wycombe unless the wheels completely fall off. So, but we'll be there waiting, and I like to think that it'll be us rather than Charlton because it wasn't great watching them.
Lots and twists and turns to come, you suspect, aren't there? Because I mean, it just feels like, I mean, for example, you're 6 points behind us. By the time you come to us on Saturday, we don't know. Oh no, obviously, sorry, I got mixed up then. There's no Tuesday the game this week. That's the week after. But there's some tough places for each team to go. Are there any fixtures that stand out other than us that make you a bit nervous?
Yeah, we've got Huddersfield to play at home yet. And we've got three sort of mid-table teams to play as well. Sort of Rotherham, that those types of teams, they're one of them especially. So it's one of those where when you play those teams, because there's no pressure on them, they're not going down, they're not really going up. They're just the shackles are off. You've got players playing for contracts, playing for moves, either wanting to stay or whatever. So they kind of play with a bit more freedom, don't they? So they make me nervous. But apart from that, no, we've got some of the teams down at the bottom to play still. So it's just really yourselves on Saturday away, and then Huddersfield at home are the key ones. But that said, the lower ones, they do drag us down to their level, and we got spanked by bloody Cambridge, didn't we? So it's one of those. That's the reason why I don't think we'll challenge for second unless you and Wycombe completely slip up. I think we're not immune to getting thumped at home. So, but I'm hoping on Saturday you'll see I'm hoping you'll be surprised at how good we are. Every other team that we've played that have been up there have said that they've gone, oh, bloody hell, you're a really good team. So hopefully you'll see that on Saturday as well.
Russ, is that old fella still in goal for you?
He's injured.
What's his name again?
Yeah.
What's his name again?
The tall fella, you mean? The Corey?
No, the one who Hinchcliffe, that's it. Yeah. I thought he's always been class, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Always been class. So I did wonder if he was still in the side or not, seasoned pro and everything else. Any weak points then? Any weak points? You mentioned that the sort of players to look out for. Is there anything obvious? Because it sounds from what you're saying that Challoner hasn't compromised his philosophy or his style, if what you're saying, whereas we're not really sure what our style is. We've got philosophy, and it's just aim for the big man and see what happens. But I mean, any kind of weak points we should be targeting?
Is it really that?
Yeah.
Is it?
100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is.
Right,
I mean, we said this the other day at Wycombe. I said, when was the last time we actually played it through the middle and a shot or anything like that? It's one of those you can. Somebody said you can afford to be second or third in the league and still be upset by performance if it consistently is a bit meh, and it has been a bit meh for a while. There's nothing that's truly outstanding.
I think first half of the season it was more classic Parky of the last two seasons, which is not just long ball, it's just direct. It just means that the wing backs work really hard and we look to get behind, and you get quick wing backs, and sometimes it's quite nice to watch because you can see that when the midfielders or defenders get the ball, they're instantly looking, right, is Barney available, is McLean available, and they're looking to move the ball up the pitch as quickly as possible. It does feel like in the last couple of months it's gone a bit more, let's just lump it up to Rodriguez and see what happens.
No, it's nervy. Shaking his head. Nervy. No, I agree with the sentiment, but I understand why we're doing it. We need to accumulate points now. That's what we need to be doing. We're in a better position than anyone thought we were going to be. And there's no real team in form other than Charlton. Obviously, Birmingham take them out of it. They're gone. Wycombe aren't in great form. We keep picking up results, but we're not smashing teams 3 or 4-0. If you go through the rest, Huddersfield have fallen away. Stockport can still lose at the likes of Cambridge. Look, it's up for grabs, and Parky's thinking, right, even if we get a point from this game, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not the worst result. And with the league as it is, he's giving us the best chance that we have to go up. And I don't care if we limp over the line. I just want to go up.
Double taking the terrorist football bingo card box right there. So yeah, weaknesses, Russ.
Yeah. So I think if you asked County fans, I think 9 out of 10 would probably say the goalkeeper, because Hinchcliffe is injured, and we've got 9'8" Corey Adai in net who can't come for crosses. So that's a worry. But that said, it's almost like he prefers. I think there's a sense that he prefers to play in front of away fans, because he does get there is a bit of moaning and groaning with home fans.
Okay.
And that it comes in part because Hinchliffe has been here for 10 years or whatever, and he's our talisman. He should be a truck driver and all the romance that surrounds it. So when he comes out and he's in net, there's definitely a sense of, right, we're confident because we've got our keeper. He's reliable. He's got loads of credit in the bank. Corey Adai hasn't, so he started building that up, and he's made 1 or 2 mistakes already. Doesn't come for crosses, can't command his area, which he's getting better at. But I think that's what County fans would say. They'd say the weakness is the goalkeeper. That said, yesterday he was brilliant. In the first half, we like to play out from the back. One of those teams where the centre half will take the goal kick and he'll just tap it to the goalie, and then they'll play it out from the back that way. So, and he made a couple of mistakes. He played it into somebody short like Lewis Bay and Norwood short yesterday, and they were just surrounded, and it brought on undue pressure or unneeded pressure. But he made three really, really good saves yesterday from quality strikers. So I think yesterday his confidence grown. Definitely you could see that. So hopefully he goes into Saturday and we're a bit more behind him and he's a bit more confident. But I definitely think the weaknesses, that's one of the weaknesses. The other one is probably we played 4 at the back yesterday. That was definitely a tactic that Charlie went with and purposely went with. And Bolton just got down the sides of us with ease, and then I think we were kind of, I won't say lucky to be 0-0 at half time, but definitely it was definitely causing us problems. So, but Charlie does like to play 5 at the back as well. So you got your wing backs, high pressing wing backs, if allowable. So I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday with that. Depends on how you set up, I guess, but. Yeah, if we play 4 at the back and you've got wide players, then they will have a lot of joy down each side. But he changed it at half time. He did a triple substitution at half time, went 3 at the back. Will Collar was like a right wing back, and that just changed the game for us. We were on top of Bolton from then on. So I'd say those are the 2 biggest weaknesses really.
It's a fascinating duel as well, isn't it, between Challoner and Parkinson, because it's almost like, Challoner's got the better comprehensively, at certain fixtures, but then the big ones, it feels like Parky's got the edge over. So it's a really interesting contest because this is kind of a big one, but it's not, final game of the season, all decider. So it'll be interesting to see the clash of styles, it sounds like a little bit as well, and whether we can sort of I'd imagine the tactic would be to press hard, when you're trying to pass it on the back, and maybe to leave the mark. But I mean, it'll be interesting to watch. So let's do our predictions. Andy, you seem like a man raring to give me a prediction. First of all, before we come on to the game, you're right, mate. You look like you're struggling. You look like you hate everything I'm saying. And I'm
no more than usual, Rhys. I'm going to be honest. But look, we had a very heavy weekend. I went to Cheltenham on Thursday, then 2 nights down in Wycombe with our friend Wayne Cram, who hosted us. I had a really good few days down there. But I am struggling a little bit now. Okay. I just want this to be over.
Okay, well, let's get it done. Andy, tell me first of all, who's going to finish second, if you're going to predict now, and who's going to win the playoff final out of who's left?
Oh, right, okay. So I have to do 3 predictions?
You do, but just do this one first. We'll do the game after. I promise it'll be quick. Okay.
Look, after yesterday, and it's the first time I've really felt this, I think we're going to get second. Oof. Like I was saying to people, I think we're going up. I just think we'll terrorist football it.
That's getting clipped everywhere.
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, I might be wrong, but I just feel that was such a seismic result that I think we're in the box seat now. And I think with the squad we've got, we're favourites to finish that job, because we've also got an experienced manager who knows exactly what we need to do at the right times to get us over the line. And he won't mind if we lose 2 or 3 more games. Look, that's fine. As long as we win the ones we have to, get the points to go ahead. I just don't think Wycombe have got a run in them that they're going to win their next 7 or 8. It's not going to happen. So we just need to keep accumulating points. And I think that will get us over the line. Out of the playoffs, so Charlton, Stockport, probably meeting the final. It's anyone's really. I'll be honest, I want Charlton to go up just because it's easy to get tickets. I've not got tickets for the last 2 Stockport games, and it was a great day out. So selfishly, Russ, shut your ears. I want Charlton to go up.
All right, good timing to bring Russ in. Who's gonna finish second and who wins the playoffs?
I think you're right, Andy, that yesterday was a seismic result. Beating Wycombe at on their own patch. Reluctantly, I'm going to say I think you're going to do it. I think you're going to finish second. I say reluctantly because we've got this big rivalry, haven't we? So I don't want you to go up. Rather Wycombe go up, to be fair.
Get the flyover ready.
I know, yeah. So I think you will. I think you will do it. Yeah, and in the playoffs, I'm not sure we've got enough in the tank in the playoffs. So I'll probably again go with Andy and say probably Charlton. To be fair, I think they'll shit ours their way to it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I think Charlton are gonna do it and finish second.
What?
Yeah, they're on. Andy, you said earlier they're on incredible form.
There's still 5 points behind us, and there's 9 games left.
Long time in football, 2 months.
They have to beat us at our place. Then they have to beat us at our place.
Yes. Why not? Just to provide a little spice. I think Charlton are going to do it. I think we might fall just short. It just feels like we've relied on the squad depth quite a lot. Couple too many injuries for my liking the last few weeks, particularly in midfield. It was good to see Dobson out there, obviously, but I'm worried that any other niggles now in the middle were a little bit exposed. But who knows? Very much hope I'm wrong. Out of those who are left, then I think we would win the playoffs. So, there we are. Liam?
I think we're. Oh, I don't want to jinx it, but I hate to. But I think we're going to do it just after, like Andy said, after yesterday. And I don't know. There's just certain things falling into place. I don't think it's a given. I don't think take it for granted type of thing because it has been hard to watch at times. But Phil Parkinson keeps proving people wrong, and yeah, I think we'll finish second. Playoffs is a tough one, to be honest, because who's got the form going into it. You'd probably have to say Charlton, but I wouldn't rule Stockport out just because purely for the fact we can't seem to shake each other off. Just our fates seem intertwined with one another. So yeah, I wouldn't rule Stockport out. So not just because Russ is here, but I'm going to go Stockport.
All right, Tim, round us off.
Yeah, I think it will be us. It will be us. And
when did we get so confident? This is what 3 seasons of million pounds.
It's typical, isn't it? If we lose against Stockport, it'll be like we better start prepping for the playoffs. Like the mindset shifts game by game, depending on the result at this stage. It just does naturally.
Tim, we can draw against Stockport now. We just don't need them to win. That's what we can do now on Saturday. That win away has bought us that.
Yeah. So I'm going to say us second. I think I'm inclined to agree with Liam. I think Stockport would beat Wycombe in the playoff final. And like it says, it just carries on, doesn't it? It carries on the rise, and then it's like at what point does somebody then stand a bit still and he progresses? I think I made the comment on the way back in the car today that it was always us and Notts County that had this rivalry from the National League sort of title challenge, and then they're like just about clinging on to League Two playoffs at the moment. So it shows you how quickly things can progress and change. So those are my bits. So I guess we now need to predict this Saturday's game, and we'll let Russ go, and then we're going to play out the
we'll do
episode
that
with a banger. So we'll
do that.
Russ that.
But first of all,
right.
Tim, you go first with your prediction for Saturday.
I'm really annoyed that this game is going ahead, by the way. I really wish your players would have got international call-ups and the game would have been postponed, because that means I could have gone to Cardiff for the opening qualifying game against Kazakhstan, but there's no clash. So I am going to say we will win, and we will win 2-1. And I think Russ is right. It's going to be a late winner. It's just you take that 3-0 out of it from the other year where our tails are firmly up. I think it's just going to be a very closely fought thing. I kind of feel there's going to be a sending off in it. And yeah, I think Cornier is going to drop the ball between his legs late on. It's going to be class.
Okay, great. Liam, what's your prediction?
I'm in an R, and I'm going to go for 1-1 because it was my first instinct. It's not good. I can see it being quite an attritional game, and us, as Russ mentioned, dragging teams down into our style of play. So yeah, I'll go on as even 1-1.
Andy?
Same for me. My head says 1-1. My heart says if we can win it, I think it further cements our place in second. So I think if we win it, I'll be absolutely over the moon because I think we'll have more of a foot in the championship. But I think a 1-1 draw. As I said, look, winning away at Wycombe has bought us this, and we don't have to beat Stockport. We just can't lose, basically.
Will you smile if we win?
After I've had a good night's sleep.
All right, good. I was going to go 1-1, so to be different, I'll go 0-0. I think it'll be really tight. It'll be cagey. I would absolutely take a 0-0 now if you offered it to me. Russ?
Despite what I said earlier about not looking forward to it and thinking we're going to get beat, because they've got this silly record, haven't we? Where every time we come to your place, you beat us, and we beat you at our place. But I think that's gonna change on Saturday, and I think it's going to be really, really tight. And I'm going to go for a 1-0 County win with just a like yesterday, just a moment of absolute class from somebody on our part.
It'll be a Courtney or die header when it comes up in the last minute of added time or something. I'll just go up there, lads. They'll probably knock it in and become a cult hero. So it's gonna be interesting either way, I think.
Yeah.
Right, it's time to wrap up now. Earlier this week on the podcast, I made an impression of a chap who was very unhappy with the players on Tuesday night, and Tim requested someone put that to a dance beat. And
I just said beats. I was expecting some sort of like B-rate kind of Wu-Tang kind of vibe, but what we've received, well, carry on.
Yeah, it's Tim Dobson who sent us this, who's a new fan from the north. I'm going to.
He's actually from Stockport. He's actually from Stockport.
Oh, is he?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, unless I've tagged in the wrong guy on X before, I looked for a Tim Dobson. And he was following the accounts. I'm assuming it's him, but he says he's from Stockport. So he's either a genuine Wrexham fan or he's a Stockport fan that's taken a piss and has done this still amazing Eurovision pop Wrexham song, which is an earworm. And it is an earworm. So apologies in advance because you will be humming it this week.
Okay, I'm going to put the QR code to accompany it because that's what every good music video has.
This is 2.5 minutes that you're never going to get back. So Russ, apologies for putting you through this. We should have let you go really first, but see how this goes. And Andy's going to get his octopus to dance while he plays it.
I hope that's not a euphemism.
Oh, here we go. The weight is killing us. Has he got it ready?
Never been more excited.
Honestly, it's amazing. It's unbelievably good.
Who's getting this ready? Me?
Yeah, well, I've got my phone, and so it's going to have to be you.
God, why did no one told me that?
Fucking hell, you didn't read the agenda, did you?
This is seamless.
It's seamless. This is why
Russ, feel free to go, mate.
Oh,
I'm interested in what this is.
I've got it.
Right, get ready. Prepare yourself.
Last season when we had our pants pulled down completely. You're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than that. Losing to Reading, dim vegan, that ain't right. O'Connell giving away that pen. What a sight. Arthur O'Con, quote, diving wrong, wing scoring 2. Bonnets fully cleared, nothing we could do. You're better than that. You're better than that. Mold Road stand losing their minds. You're better than that. Phil Hoggins are making excuses, flat performance, refs are cheats. Automatic promotion slipping away, main honored, we can't compete. You're better than that, you're better than that. Red Dragons on the pitch, you're better than that. Ryan and Rob watching on telly, you're better than that. Turf Hotel, drowning sorrows, you're better than that. Why can't you play like we beat Arsenal back in '92?
Unreal.
Right, we're not listening to the whole thing. I mean, it's brilliant. But Tim, thank you so much for sending that in.
By the way, if you want the full version of that, I have put it in the newsletter.
There we go.
He needs
So
to get
reason-
Spotify.
That's a
He
good
needs to get
reason not
Spotify.
to
Christmas
subscribe
number
to the
1 right there.
newsreader.
It's so good.
If you do want to subscribe and hear the full version, there it is.
There it is.
There is a second and third chorus, and there's some genius lines in there, by the way.
It's fantastic. Thank you, Tim, and thank you to all of our wonderful listeners, and big special thank you to Russ for joining us this week. Another big Stockport game. We're all looking forward to it. And this time next week, we'll be discussing the fallout, and hopefully Andy will be cracking a smile. But thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thank you all.